What's up, Laker Nation? It's your DTLF, man. Good to see you guys. Good to be back. Long summer ahead of us. A lot of things to cover, man. But glad to be back and in the fold. And like I promised you guys, got a lot of things set up for this summer, including, if you guys haven't heard by now, I'm going to be dropping a brand new podcast from 12 p.m. Pacific time, starting Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we'll go from there. But a lot of things to talk about in these podcasts. I'm going to be talking, of course, Lakers basketball, NBA basketball, as well as other topics. But this video right here, man, I've been saving it since last week because I thought potentially the Lakers would have a coach by now. It turns out that we still don't have a coach officially. However, that might not be the case behind the scenes. It looks like a decision has been made. And it looks like, based on pictures and rumors and all this stuff, that it's going to be Tyronn Lue. He was recorded celebrating his 42nd birthday, I believe, or 42nd or 43rd. They saw him with he was standing next to a Lakers cake that said coach, So it'll be interesting to see when they decide to announce it and also why they've waited so long. But I'm glad to be back, guys, here with you guys. And this video, we're going to tackle a bunch of topics. So I have a couple of updates for you guys. Ty Lue seems to be an okay coach. I'm not gonna get too excited since he wasn't my main choice, but I'm not gonna get too down. I'm like intermediate. I'm open-minded to this hiring once it becomes official. So what I like is that, according to rumors, he does like to hold LeBron accountable. The things I don't like is, to everything, there's pros and cons about a potential Ty Lue hiring, is that, the perception of the Lakers would be that if we hire Tyronn Lue officially, we're now handing the team over to LeBron. And that doesn't really bode well for free agency. If you're a player that wants to have some sort of say and some sort of input on the Lakers, then you probably wouldn't like that. If you're somebody with a big ego, it's probably not going to come now. But I don't know. Again, the media has really tried to destroy the Lakers' image over this upcoming summer, and it's a shame. Every day I tune in to ESPN or any website or Bleacher Reports, any article, they're all talking about how the Lakers aren't going to be good for the next 10 years and stuff like that. So, it's tough. But good to see you guys. I'm here to put a positive spin on everything. Hopefully we can capitalize this summer regardless of whatever happens. But one thing I will say positive about Ty Lue is this. If Phil Jackson and Magic Johnson, they both endorse Ty Lue, then he must be doing something right. Not just that, but people always forget the fact that he is a championship level coach. He's a coach that helped coach the Cleveland Cavaliers, who had never won a championship, to a title. So no matter how you want to spin that, the refs assisted the Cavaliers or whatever. But at the end of the day, Tyronn Lue won a championship. And you can't say that about Monty Williams, who, by the way, I'm going to get to that in a second. But you can't say that about any other coach that was a candidate over this summer. But like I said, if I'm open to Tyronn Lue, you guys know that I'm never critical with a coach year one. I at least give him year one to try to prove himself. After year one, then I start being a little bit more critical. But if Tyronn Lue becomes official, then I will be open-minded with him. I will stay positive. Of course, I'm cheering for any head coach that's the Lakers head coach. And hopefully he's able to help turn things around. How you doing, T? What's up, everybody? Good to see you guys. Like I said, if you guys are barely tuning in, can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow on my podcast. It's going to be audio only. It's a podcast, so I'm going to stick to audio only. However, it's going to be in the same format, with live chat, and I will be reading your guys' comments here and there. So definitely tune in at 12 Pacific time tomorrow. Call City of Angels podcast, and I can't wait to talk sports and many other different topics. But, just get the ball rolling this summer because we have a lot of things to discuss. The playoffs have been interesting. The outcomes of the playoffs might actually impact free agency movement and stuff like that. So I'm going to get into all that tomorrow at 12. So hopefully I see most of you guys there. Like I said, Phil Jackson endorsing Ty Lue made me feel a lot better. He is a great basketball mind, no matter how many people want to disrespect him because of his stint in New York. He's a great, great basketball mind. So we have to, try to stay positive about the hiring. Hey, shout out to Kingston, Jamaica. That's what's up. Thank you so much. Monty Williams picking the Phoenix Suns over the Lakers, or so they're saying in the media. It's Ward Janowski and all these people are trying to tear up the Lakers for for how dysfunctional we are, and that's the reason Monty Williams, quote unquote, picked the Lakers. The Suns over the Lakers. Well, here's what I gotta say to that. Based on all the reports I've heard before he made his decision, the Lakers had not extended an offer to him or Tyronn Lue. So to me, if he did pick Phoenix, it's because two reasons. One, they obviously were the more desperate team. They extended the offer first. And two, maybe the Lakers weren't sold on Monty Williams. He obviously went through two different interviews, and if they didn't feel he was the right coach, they didn't jump on it for a reason, right? So from what I heard, we didn't extend an offer, and so he decided to go with Phoenix, which is a safer job. Let's be honest. There's a lot more pressure in LA with LeBron, with a superstar like LeBron, and with the expectancy of Laker fans than in Phoenix. In Phoenix, you could lose for the next 5 years, and they might still not fire you. And LA, if you don't start winning by next year, then you're on the hot seat. So, it's a safe move for Tyronn Lue. Regardless, I think he's going to be a good coach, and I wish him all the best. Nothing personal, right? Either way. But, Monty Williams, he went to Phoenix, and again, I wish him the best. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is LeBron James. If you guys haven't watched it yet, the latest episode of The Shop was very telling towards where his mindset is right now. LeBron James is not happy with the Lakers, mainly because of Magic Johnson's move. Now, I was watching The Shop the other day, and Lonzo was in it as well, with Pharrell Williams and a couple of other an actor, a football player. It's actually a pretty good show. If you guys haven't seen it on HBO, I recommend you check it out. They probably have some of the older episodes on YouTube. It's only about 5 episodes thus far, but it's very telling to the way LeBron thinks. So LeBron said that he was very surprised and very shocked that Magic Johnson decided to call it quits, especially because he knew that there was a game going on. He also mentioned how he didn't understand why he had to quit on that specific moment. He could have done it after the game or at any other moment, right? So to him, the timing wasn't right. But what really bothered LeBron is that he came to LA and he mentioned it. To those of you that say that Magic Johnson had nothing to do with LeBron James coming, there it is. In The Shop, he mentioned how one of the main reasons he bought in to the process of building with the Lakers was because Magic Johnson convinced him about the process, right? He said he told him year one it was going to be a struggle, but let's see what we got. And he said in reality, at his age, he shouldn't be okay with building, right? Because he needs to be contending every year. So that little quote there by itself told me a lot of things. One, LeBron James is not happy currently with the state of the Lakers. We're going to need to bring a superstar via free agency. If not, he's probably going to put pressure on the Lakers to do one of two things. Either trade for an all-star like Anthony Davis, a superstar like Anthony Davis, or trade him away. And yes, I expect LeBron James to either get one of his two wishes. I think either we're going to land a max free agent and appease LeBron, or we're going to have to trade for one. If not, I do expect him to eventually request a trade because he's not in it for the long haul. He's in it to try to compete next year as soon as possible. This is understandable, but at the same time, if I'm the Lakers, I have to do what's best for my franchise moving forward. I can't let LeBron dictate where the next 5 years go, right? Because we could trade for a superstar or an all-star, but then cripple our franchise for the next 5 to 10 years. So we have to be very careful how we proceed, and this is exactly why a lot of people did not want LeBron to come, because he would put this kind of pressure. He would bring all this kind of media drama and everything we're currently going through. Those are the cons of picking up LeBron. The pros are that anytime you have him, you're that much closer to becoming a contender. So in my opinion, we're going to have to tread very carefully with what we do next, right? Lakers should not trade all their assets for just one all-star. However, if we already have one in place and then we have a chance to build a big three, let's say we get Kawhi Leonard and then we could add Anthony Davis, then you got to do whatever is necessary because that's a guaranteed championship. However, I still prefer keeping the young core and adding via free agency. But let's see what the comments said. No LeBron backstab Magic, not Pelinka. LeBron didn't backstab anything. LeBron James has actually tried to keep his mouth shut and has been operating behind the scenes. But honestly, Magic Johnson quitting was very unprecedented. It took us all by shock. I think Magic made a mistake. If he was going to quit, I think he shouldn't have took the job in the first place. It made us look worse. And it pretty much, if we miss out on free agents, we're going to look back at Magic Johnson leaving and making us look unstable right before free agency. So hopefully that's not the case. But, as much as I love Magic Johnson, that was not the right move. He needed to be stronger and have a backbone, especially since he brought in LeBron. T said the new building up is going to be so worth it. No one likes the building up, but it's a process. Yeah, definitely. And we've been building up since the 2012, right? That was the last year we made the playoffs, and Kobe went down with that horrific injury. And ever since then, we never were able to bounce back. But look, I'll tell you this. Right now, the front office is not doing a good job of making itself look stable. So I blame them as well. Genie, to me, needs to be more decisive. We should have had a basketball president of operations. We don't even know who that's going to be. We don't even know if we have one behind the scenes pulling strings. You guys remember the last video? I said there were reports that, hey, there might be one in the playoffs. That could still very well be true. However, reports are always conflicting themselves. And that's why I lasted so long without making a video, because it took me like about a week to gather all the proper information, because I want to make sure whatever I report to you guys is as close to authentic as possible, right? I don't want to be reporting things that I'm not even sure about. So again, there's a lot of rumors out there. That's why this video was not titled breaking news. The Lakers hire a new head coach, because that's not official. So I'm going to wait till they make it official before the last video was titled, did the Lakers have a president of basketball operations? I shouldn't have did that, because even though some good sources reported that, nothing was official. It's always conflicting reports with the Lakers, because everybody wants to have the inside scoop. So pretty much from here on out, I vowed to only report on things that I truly, truly believe are legit and officially don't break nothing till it breaks, right? So even though I try to bring it to you guys as quick as possible, I want to make sure that, whatever I say here on this channel is authentic and legit. So that's the reason it took me about a week to gather all this information and come back to you guys. But again, this podcast should be fun, guys, starting tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific time. I can't wait. We're going to talk so many topics. We're going to talk Lakers, of course, basketball. We're going to talk some other type of sports as well. If it's interesting and it's happening, we're going to touch on it. So it should be fun, guys. Thanks, Arthur. Good to see you guys too. He said, I tried not listening to this LeBron is mad at Magic talk, but since you're speaking on it, Dan, I know this story is fact. Sorry, I must have talked. What are the reports about, Dan? Oh, you missed the talk. Sorry. No, all I'm saying is I saw the episode of The Shop, and these are words that came out of LeBron's mouth. He was not happy. Based on what he said, I'm not even sure that Magic and LeBron have talked since then. So he also mentioned how he wasn't here for the long haul. Pretty much, he's not here for the build up. He wants to compete right away, and it's understandable. And that's the reason Magic Johnson looks so bad, because I don't know what he sold LeBron, but right now it looks like wolf tickets, simply because we're nowhere near currently today, as we stand right now. We're nowhere near where LeBron wants us to be, or where the fans want us to be. So pretty much he pretty much feels betrayed by Magic. Like, hey, you convinced me to come over here. I signed a deal. Now I'm stuck here. And I'm not even sure if LeBron has any sort of relationship with Genie or Rob. Maybe he does. I'm not sure. But remember, Magic was the only one at that meeting. Magic was the one that convinced LeBron to come here. So, it's a shame that he dropped out. I really believed in Magic Johnson. And unfortunately, it all caught us by surprise, including LeBron. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. There are many outcomes, guys, and we're going to talk about these outcomes or potential outcomes for the Lakers' future moving forward. Now, you guys already know, I believe it's May 14, right? The lottery ping pong balls are going to fall, and that could really, really change our destiny. We could either be a top 3 team if we get really lucky, or we could stay where we're at or even move down. Hopefully not. But if we stay where we're at, I've been checking out these prospects, man, and there's a lot of good talent. We need a lot of things on this team, so it's going to be hard to decide exactly what we want to draft and what we're going to focus on. Or are we just going to trade that asset away and get a veteran? I'm not sure, but the Lakers have to make sure that whatever decision they make, they don't backpedal on it, because we have to move forward. We can't move sideways anymore. We can't be wasting time. So the Lakers have to, the brass, whoever's running the Lakers right now. Hopefully it's not Kurt Rambis, but from what I heard, they have a say in all of this. So hopefully they all put their heads together and make sure we make the right decisions moving forward. Now, it started with the head coach, and it looks like, as of this moment, like it's going to be Tyronn Lue. If that is, man, if it's Tyronn Lue, then best of luck to him, and I hope that he comes in ready to work. There's a lot of work to be done here as a head coach, work that Luke Walton really didn't even touch on. So, yeah, there's a lot of work to be done, and hopefully he's up for it, right? Right now, I wouldn't even watch ESPN as a Laker fan simply because they're just bashing the Lakers, man. And I feel like they're trying to change the narrative. They're trying to legit make it look like the Clippers are the better franchise, which is just a joke. They've never been the better franchise. They have nothing to show for it. They've never even been out of the second round. So I know a lot of you guys say don't cling on to the past, but the future, is based off of the past, man. The past history always repeats itself, right? So at the end of the day, I still have faith in my Lakers, and I think they will get it right. How long it's going to take, I have no clue, because I have to see progress before I can give you guys a timetable. But this summer, a lot of that can be fixed towards putting us back on the right path as far as contention goes. But they have to make sure that every little step is calculated. We can't just make knee-jerk reaction type moves that we've been making in the past. And we got to make sure that every asset that we have is evaluated properly, so that we don't give up pieces like Julius Randle, D'Lo, pieces that we could truly use, right? Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you, bro. He said, whoever is in control of the media sports stories doesn't like the Lakers or LeBron. Straight up haters. And here's the thing. The narrative for LeBron was great when he was in Cleveland, right? Because that's where they wanted him. That was a Cinderella story. He's in a small town like Cleveland, making them look good, helping their economy. He was a hero. Comes to LA, and it's like, oh, why did he make this move? It's like, oh, the Lakers are in disarray. The Lakers are a horrible franchise. I heard Colin Cowherd recently say that we're a better version of the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's like, is that really such a bad thing? Because the Cavs were competing for championships when they had LeBron. So I don't know why they're always trying to put us down, even when it doesn't make sense. It's like, to me, that's a compliment. If you're calling us a better version of the Cavs, then we should be competing for championships, right? Because from what I remember, when LeBron was with the Cavs, they were competing. And that's just the thing. Another thing is that always irritated players, and why some players don't want to play with LeBron is because when they're doing good, he gets all the credit. And when they do bad, the Lakers are a poor man's Cleveland. Cleveland had Kevin Love, who was an all-star, even though, again, he would disappear from time to time. But so does Curry. Nobody trashes him, right? They had Kyrie, who in my opinion is a superstar. I know a lot of people disagree, but I think his clutch gene and his ability to take over games, I put him in the super category. I am the same way with Damian. Damian, to me, I've always said it, him and CJ are the best backcourt in the NBA. People laughed at that because they think, Clay and Curry are, since they're winning championships and they're on a more stacked team, they only look at that. But if you take out Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum and you put them in a 2-on-2 championship, best of 7 versus Clay and Curry, who would win, right? So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to tell you guys is that the media can only control so much, but the truth is out there. The truth is that the Lakers are not as far as they make it seem. Colin said we're like 10 years away from competing again. How does he know that? One little thing could change our whole outcome. Imagine we win the lottery. And if it's not that, imagine we land a max free agent like Kawhi. Have you guys been watching Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs? He is insanely amazing, guys. He's putting up amazing. He's shooting over 60% from the field. He's putting up like 27, 28, 29 points per game. He's the best two-way player in the game right now. And if we land him, if he decides to be smart and he knows the Clippers history repeats itself, they're not going anywhere. Lakers is the right place to be. Then guess what? If we land him, now what, Colin? Are we still 10 years away? So what I'm saying is the media is just doing their best to trash the Lakers and to basically, make sure free agents don't come here. It's up to free agents to decide if the media is going to control their future, though. I wouldn't. If I'm a free agent, I'm going wherever is best for me. California weather, the history of championships, playing with LeBron James puts me that much closer to the title. And as everybody knows, winning a championship for LA is just different, man. The parades we throw are legendary. Down Figueroa Street, legendary. Just go back and look at the pictures, look at the videos. Look how we pack downtown LA. It's just insane. I've never seen parades like the ones we throw. Definitely not in Cleveland and not in Golden State. So, Dan, you should create a welcome to LA Kawhi Leonard video. If we land them, you better believe I will. Better believe I will. Marvis says Rich Paul and Clutch Sports paying the media house healthy money. Obvious how they did Kobe. Well, again, the media, they try to control the narrative, but a lot of times they're wrong. I remember when Kevin Durant was going to become a free agent. I don't remember the year, but what was it, 2015, 2016? They were saying there's no way Kevin Durant's leaving the Thunder. I was one of the very few people that, even though I wasn't doing videos back then, I was one of the very few people that said, to my friends and family, I think KD's leaving, especially because, they traded Harden and they've made some really knuckleheaded moves. So I was one of the very few people that said, I think he's going to leave. I didn't know where. I definitely didn't expect him to go to Golden State. But that just goes to show you that the media knows zero, right? They pretend like they know the futures. I recently read an article where it says that the Clippers have a better chance at landing Clay if he doesn't get maxed out by Golden State than the Lakers. Media knows nothing. These are narratives they're trying to create. It's all false, guys. And it's our job just to, not have our head in the clouds. Just stay leveled and make sure that, again, believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. That's the way it is. So did you see Tyronn Lue's birthday cake? Yes. And even though it's not official, it looks like he will be the next head coach. So hopefully we got a good one. And as long as he's better than Luke, I'm happy. Put us in position to win. This game, everybody knows that the NBA is a players' league, but you still need to have a head coach that doesn't get in the way. That's the way I look at it. And if you have a head coach that helps you and propels you forward, that's even better. All I'm expecting from Tyronn Lue is just don't get in the way of player development. Don't get in the way of making the right decisions down the stretch of games. Don't get in the way of the hot hand. How many times was Lonzo or Kuzma or whoever, they were hot and Luke would stick to his minute restrictions and bench him, take away the momentum of the game that we had, that we were about to win that game, and we end up losing. So if Tyronn Lue could just do that, I'll be happy. I'm not expecting him to bring his clipboard and make all these miraculous plays, out of bounds, timeout plays, and all this stuff. If he does, great, even better. That's a bonus. But all I want from Tyronn Lue is three things: player development, right? Play the best rotations available at the moment. If somebody gets injured, make sure the next man up is the best man up. I don't want to see KCP starting over, whoever's better than him, right? I'm not saying that we're going to get him, but just an example. And the last thing I want him to hold LeBron accountable. So if LeBron is playing like trash and he needs to be benched, sorry, LeBron, I know you're an MVP candidate, but if you're playing like a bum and you're shooting brick, half-court three-point shots, one after another, you're going to hit the pine. If Tyronn Lue could do that, he has my full respect. That's all I expect. Just hold everybody accountable and don't get in the way of player development, and put us in the best position to win. It sounds like a lot to ask for, right? But that's their job as head coaches. That's their job. I'm on a new account, but it's good to hear from you again, DTLF. I was Bayless. Hey, how you doing, brother? Get to see you guys as well. Again, remember, don't forget to join that podcast tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific time, guys. Can't wait to see you guys there. And again, it's only going to be audio. However, we're going to be covering so many other subjects I normally don't talk about. You guys name it, and I'll definitely be chopping it up with you guys. We need a coach like Mike Malone. Yeah, he's very good. Mike Malone, very good from the Denver Nuggets. By the way, that Portland-Denver series has been the best series in the second round, in my opinion. And Portland has been the team to watch. If you guys are paying close attention, Portland is playing with a lot of heart. Again, my favorite backcourt in the NBA, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. I've seen those boys play live, and they're just insane, man. They feed off of each other so well. It's almost like they take turns. It's poetry in motion. It's like when they need a bucket, they go to Dame. And when they're double teaming Dame, they go to CJ, and CJ gets them a bucket. It's just beautiful to watch. I think Golden State's backcourt is super overrated. I'm not saying they're not talented. I'm not saying Curry and Clay are two of the best shooters we've ever seen. However, as far as their ISO game is very weak compared to Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. So it sounds as though Tyronn Lue is going to be the next coach. Exactly. There's even, again, a video surfaced of him celebrating his birthday with a Lakers cake. So, yeah, most likely. Yep. Dan, I will give Luke credit. He's not afraid to get on LeBron, and he is clearly the right coach to get the best out of LeBron and other players. We'll see, Chris Jones. I have an open mind. Again, I haven't truly paid attention to the way that Tyronn Lue coaches, because before LeBron came here, I wasn't watching the Cavaliers like that. So pretty much what I'm trying to tell you is I don't know much about Ty Lue. All I know is that he has championship level experience, and I thought he was fired unjustly from Cleveland. I think he had that team. What was their record when they fired him this last season? 7-9 or something like that. For a team that has that little bit of talent, that wasn't bad. So hopefully we continue. Portland does nothing for me. Well, for me, they're the funnest team to watch, and their backcourt is insane. I really enjoy, and they're doing this without Nurkic. That's what people forget. And Nurkic is one of the better front court players in the league. So it's crazy to me. Dan, Ice Cube said to make LeBron happy, we should get Ty Lue. But that's exactly the narrative I don't want. I don't want the Lakers to be appeasing only LeBron. I want the Lakers to do what's best for the franchise moving forward. But I understand. Lue probably is one of the better coaches left on the board from what we've interviewed. So I'm not upset. I'm not upset if we get him. Luke reminds me of Byron Scott. Yeah, man, except Luke doesn't really have a backbone. At least Byron would get on players' cases when they played bad. He wasn't afraid to call out players at all. So I actually like Byron over Luke. Hey, Dan, do you see what Kawhi is doing right now? I don't want him with the Lakers because LeBron will just turn him into a spot-up shooter the same way he did to Kevin and Kyrie. Now, I doubt that. I doubt he turns him into a spot-up shooter. I think LeBron would respect the claw enough to let him go ISO and do his thing. There's more than enough time on the clock in a 48-minute game for both of them to get off. Now, if we had three superstars, then the third one would probably have to sacrifice. But if it's just Kawhi and LeBron, they're both going to eat. I'm not worried about that. But yes, I am seeing what he's doing. The claw's a beast, man. Cleveland was 0-6. Man, that team is still garbage. I'm sorry. They don't have outside of Colin Sexton and Larry Nance Jr., who I'm a fan of because of his great attitude and his effort. I'm not a fan of their roster like that. Kyrie and Love were not turned into spot-up shooters. Neither was Tristan. People need to respect LeBron. I think people do respect LeBron. The only people that don't respect LeBron is probably for their own personal reasons. But, the main reason why I think people disrespect LeBron at times is their fan base. LeBron's fan base is very toxic. The ones that basically only like LeBron, not all of them. There's some that are pretty level-headed and they know their basketball. But others, man, they just love riding LeBron around, and it gets pretty annoying. You can't say anything about King James because what happens is they come after your throat, man. And I think that's the reason a lot of people don't really like LeBron James like that, because their fan base is ridiculous. Even as far as calling him the GOAT. How can somebody who lost 6 finals be the GOAT? It's like you have to be level-headed as a basketball fan. Your opinion, it's not going to matter if you're just saying outlandish stuff like that, right? So I think that's the main reason you hear a lot of LeBron hate. He said, what's up, Dan? I hope Bol falls to the Lakers if we pick 11th. That would be a good option as far as he passes all the physicals and all that stuff. They have to look at him. They have to look at him as a whole. Is he a high risk, low reward, or is he high risk, high reward? So depending on the pick, again, ping pong balls still have to fall. So I'm definitely going to cover that live as well. But depending on the pick, yeah, I think we'll go from there. I'll definitely cover that as soon as I know exactly what pick we have. I only like LeBron when he retires. I'm done. Sorry, guys. Hey, you're entitled to your opinion, Christmas. I'll tell you that. But at the end of the day, I was a diehard Kobe fan, but I would always say Kobe was my GOAT because I got to see him play, but I never proclaimed him everybody's GOAT. And that's what LeBron fans tend to do a lot. They'll king LeBron over everybody that ever played without even doing their research or watching anybody else play. So ignorance is bliss. Been in and out of the live, working right now. Talking about In and Out. Oof, I'm kind of craving some In and Out burgers right now. Stay blessed too, T. I'll catch you later. Mamba mentality. Yeah, Mamba mentality. Kobe to me was just a different animal. I had never seen an athlete that put his body, his mind, and his soul into the game like him. Closest thing to that was Allen Iverson and KG when he was with the Timberwolves. Those guys, I put all three of them together, right? I put the heart and soul of those players in the same bundle and then everybody below them. Like, I love players that lay it all out. And you don't see a lot of that in today's game. I can name a couple, though, that always put their heart and soul out there when they play. I can name a couple, right? We got Damian Lillard, to me, is one of those players. I wish Curry had more of Damian Lillard's heart, because then, he would be unstoppable with his skill set. But I love Dame. He's one of the top 3 point guards today. Russell Westbrook, as much as I dislike his personality, and he's an a-hole, he plays with a lot of passion, a lot of heart and soul. So that's nice to watch as far as that goes, right? So, yeah, pretty much there's a handful of players left today. Draymond, whether you guys like him or not, he always puts his passion out there. Very 90s style basketball player. He's dirty, though. That's the only thing I don't like. He's poking people's eyes out and, kicking them in the groin and all this stuff. I don't like that part. But everything else, his heart, the way he plays, that's good. As much as I hate his team, I just respect passion. And I just wish more players laid it out on the line like that today. I feel like most of the time you have players that are just chilling, laid back, trying to look good for the cameras when they shoot. D'Angelo, players like that. So if they showed a little more heart, they'd be so much funner to watch, because I am a fan of D'Lo and players like that. But at the same time, I just wish they laid it all out every night and didn't just take it easy, Honestly, Kobe is the greatest scorer of all time, and Mike is the best two-way player of all time. That's a good opinion to have. I can't argue it at all. She said, I used to think MJ was the GOAT. Kobe was just MJ 2.0. After 2016, I switched to LeBron. Hey, entitled to your opinion. That's totally cool. Manu Ginóbili, he had a lot of heart. I respected him for that as well. And I don't think the Spurs win any championships in the Tim Duncan, Manu Ginóbili era without Ginóbili. So glue guy, definitely a glue guy and somebody you needed on your team. And he sacrificed his own personal stats for the team. So I respect that for sure. Kobe was way more clutch than LeBron. Kobe knocked down free throws and played defense unlike LeBron. Again, this is not a Kobe-LeBron debate, so I'm not even going to get into that. That's a never-ending debate, to each his own. To me, I'm a Kobe guy. But at the end of the day, if you pick LeBron over Kobe, that's your opinion. And I'm cool with that. Would you go after D'Lo? His stock went down when he got caught with the weed in the bottle. Yeah, man, unfortunately about that whole weed incident, he's an adult. So whatever he decides to do with his free time is up to him. However, when you're getting caught and it's your pay year, that's a big mistake for him, because he was about to get up into 15 to 20 mil per season. Now that might be cut into 10, if he gets lucky. I don't know. Maybe somebody will still pay him, but can you truly trust a guard to be a leader, which is what Magic Johnson mentioned, that has been caught so many times with the host. And the worst part is that rumor has it that he tried to blame it on his brother. So he's still snitching? Come on, D'Lo, you're better than that, man. He's better than that. But unfortunately for D'Angelo, he's just, I don't know, man. I don't know if he might not be the brightest. Hey, Dan, you think Ty Lue or Pelinka can convince free agents to come to LA? I have no clue. I don't really, I don't know what type of person Tyronn Lue is. I really haven't done my research on him like that. I don't know if he's a player's coach, somebody that players want to play with. But I know that he's endorsed by a lot around the inner circles of the NBA. So maybe that's a good thing. Again, I'm coming into this thing with the open mind. I'm not upset we hired him. I just wish that it would have been a swift decision, a definitive. But again, it's not official yet till it's official. But when that happens, then I'll give my thoughts a little bit more on that. I think the Lakers getting Kawhi, that would be dope. That means we would have the best player / and sidekick in the NBA. And I think LeBron's the sidekick. And I think Kawhi is the best player today. The reason why, and yes, that was a hot take for you guys. I just kind of snuck it in there. The reason why I think Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the NBA today is because of his age, all right, his defense, and now he's probably the most efficient player in basketball. And he's done it in the playoffs time and time again. And I'm very excited for his future. I think he's only going to get better. So to me, I think he's the best player in the NBA. Everybody says KD. Some people say LeBron. I think it's Kawhi because if I could only pick one of the three right now where they currently stand in their age, right? What is Kawhi? 26, 27? The rest are over 30. So I'm taking Kawhi, just especially because of his impact on the defensive end. But his offense is just he's a smooth operator. If you notice, you watch a lot of basketball like me, you'll notice that two things about Kawhi. One, he's super efficient, and two, he wastes no movements. He does no fancy plays. He doesn't try to cross people over to be fancy. He doesn't try to step back, shoot in their face. He takes nothing but high efficiency baskets, and that's why he's so lethal, because he doesn't waste any movement. He just cuts straight lines to the basket, and he just becomes such a great scorer over time. If Kawhi doesn't beat the Sixers, keep that same energy. Again, this is a team sport. You can have the best player in the world and not even make the playoffs, right? So, yeah, I'll keep the same energy to me, but it's my personal opinion. I'm not basing it on facts. I mean, I could be wrong, but to me, Kawhi Leonard today is the best player in the NBA. To me. Him and Ben Simmons are chokers. That's a good series. I still have Toronto making it out of the East, but a lot of people actually believe that Philly can take that. I think they don't have the experience. I look at Toronto. I see, everyone from Marc Gasol to Serge Ibaka, to, of course, Kawhi Leonard. And that's just, on paper, that's just a beast team, guys. Now, they've only been together for a year, and some of them for half of a year because they got traded in the trade deadline. So they're only going to keep getting better as the playoffs progress. I think they're going to make it out of the East, I believe. Seriously. Buddy, I hope someone clothesline him. Nah, man, don't ever wish for no injuries, guys. This isn't MMA. He said, Whoa straight hates on the Lakers. So does Windhorst. That's all right. Let them all hate. That's why we have our little channel right here, man, where we can congregate and talk real basketball. All feelings to the side, That the reason I say Kawhi is the best player, again, besides his defense and his heart, he's just such a humble guy, and I think he fits in any offense. I was dead wrong about him. When the Spurs were trading him, I believed he was a system guy. And I said I really needed to see him outside of San Antonio to believe in him. And I've seen him this year. I've paid close attention to him in Toronto. And boy, did he prove me wrong. He's definitely not a system player. I always knew he was a defensive beast and an athlete. But could he get his own outside of Popovich's system? Absolutely. And I think actually, if anything, Popovich's system might have been holding him back a little bit because he has to play more team ball. He can isolate a little more in Toronto because they need him to. So, he really opened my eyes this year. I had him in my top 5 before the year started. After watching him all year long, this kid's just a different animal. And that's whether he comes to the Lakers or not. That's just keeping it 100, guys. Dan, would you mind the Lakers go after Nikolai Vucevic? He's not even in my top 5 of free agents I want to come here, but he's very talented. I think he's going to get overpaid to stay in Orlando since they're making him the priority, right? So pretty much, I doubt he goes anywhere else. He said, I've gotten into plenty of fights in bars with Warriors and Celtic fans. Oh man, it's not necessary, bro. Just walk away. Whenever you meet up with ignorance, just walk away, man. It's not worth you wasting your time or potentially getting hurt or hurting somebody over ignorance. Just let them be, man. Unless they swing at you first, then I say just walk away. That's the best thing you could do. KD called him a system player. That's why Kawhi won't play with him. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that KD had called anybody a system player. I mean, that's crazy. People forget that LeBron picked players. He could within the All-Star game. Kawhi is literally the opposite of LeBron. That's what Laker fans want, LOL. Laker fans want to win. And I think Kawhi is the best option for multiple reasons. His age, he has no ego. Well, he kind of does have an ego, but it's not like something that he likes to put out there, obviously. But, you know, he's just a humble beast. And yes, of course, why wouldn't the Lakers want him? You'd have to, I think all 30 teams in the league should have Kawhi at the top of their free agency wish list. I really do. Especially because KD, what is he, 30, 31? KD's a beast as well, especially on the offensive end, but he's nowhere near the defender that Kawhi is. So when you dissect both players, game for game, I'm taking the two-way beast. I'll take a couple more questions before I get off, guys. We got to save some talk for the podcast tomorrow, so I'll definitely see you guys there at 12 p.m. He said, "What up, Dan? At work, but listening low-key. Thanks for holding it down with the updates. DTLF News Network. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. You guys make this happen. So, again, I was just gathering as much information as I could, preparing myself for this week. Remember, stay tuned because I got a podcast coming up, man, starting tomorrow. We're going to do Tuesdays and Thursdays. See how that works out. And if that's successful, then we might add in another day somewhere along the line. But for now, it's 2 days a week. I'm going to be doing that podcast. Dan, we better make the playoffs next year. I'm tired of this drought. It's May. I should be watching my Lakers. Absolutely, Ruben. And you have every right to feel that way. I feel the same way. That's why the pressure is on everybody who comes to LA. From the head coach to the president of basketball operations to the players. Dan, I think the Portland-Denver series could go 7. It definitely could. That series has been fun to watch, and I don't recommend you guys missing a single game. I actually had to go to sleep because I had work the next day, and I missed the 4 overtime game. I missed I only watched up until the 4th quarter, which sucks because I wanted to keep watching it, but I had work in the morning, so you know, I missed the 4 overtimes, but I made sure and I watched the recap, and it was dang good, man. Would you overpay for Kawhi? Absolutely. He's worth every penny, man. If we can go over the cap, like way over the cap to overpay for him, I would. Dan, do you think they should go after Danny Green? Danny Green has been disappointing me in the playoffs. Now, he actually might be one of those players that was better off in Greg Popovich's system because he really hasn't done much in the playoffs for the Toronto Raptors from what I've seen. Now, I haven't seen every game, but from what I've seen, he's been missing on some wide open spot up shots. So I wouldn't say I'll pass on him if he's available at a good price. I'll probably take him, but he's not a priority to me. Dan, would you mind the Lakers go after Nikolai Vucevic? I wouldn't mind. He's definitely a good player. He's a paint beast, but is he the piece we need? I don't know. I don't know if he's the piece that's going to put us over the top. That's the reason that's the main reason that I don't really have him up there in my top 5. But he's definitely talented. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Thank you guys so much. If I missed your question, go ahead and try again tomorrow or you know, once the video posts up in the comment section, I'll try to get as many as possible. Thank you guys again for all the support. Got you guys. Starting tomorrow, man. City of Angels podcast. Go ahead and join me for that. We're going to talk basketball. We're going to talk sports. We're going to talk life. So I can't wait to see you guys there, and we'll cover everything else tomorrow. So don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you already haven't, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one, Laker Nation.